Hey there, this is Dr. Evan Osaro with the Institute for Integrative Health and Fitness Education. Thanks so much for joining us today, day 4 of week number 6 of Facebook Live. Hope you're having a great week. This week we've been discussing working with older clients that have a forward head posture, and even for many of us that are younger and have the forward head posture as well. Yesterday we talked about one of the first and most important corrective exercise patterns that we do with our clients with a forward head alignment. And that's breathing, because what breathing does is it allows us to access the diaphragm, the intercostals, the transverse abdominis, the pelvic floor, the primary muscles of respiration, so that we don't have to overuse the muscles of the accessory muscles of respiration, like the scalenes, like the SCM, like the levator scapula and pectoralis minor, the muscles that contribute to pulling the head forward in the first place. Now we want to take this idea of this concept into a upright cueing position so that we can teach our clients or give them awareness of where their head and neck should be positioned over top of their thorax. Now, yesterday we discussed self-checks also, like having your client rotate their head side to side, side bend side to side, to feel the range of motion before and after they breathe. And oftentimes, if you've done a good job with their breathing and positioning their head and neck when they're doing their breathing, you'll see an increased range of motion and just an ease of motion after you do your three-dimensional breathing with them. Now we want to cue them in the upright position, because a lot of our clients, they'll breathe well when they're lying on their back. They may even breathe well when they're sitting up, but then they go back to their work and they just go back into their old patterns. So we want to teach our clients where a more optimal position is for the head and neck as they're sitting. Now, a common exercise to work on the forward head posture is retractions, neck retractions. And unfortunately, we don't do, or we believe that the neck retractions, the way most people do them, way too forceful and actually doesn't really put the head and neck in a better position. It really just creates hyperextension of the upper back. And here's what I mean. A lot of our clients are sitting there, they'll do retractions and they just jam the neck back, and all they're doing is really tensing the neck flexors like the scalenes and SCMs, and they're just jamming their chest up and their thorax down and back. And that's not what we want to create. We want to help them elongate and almost feel as if they're lifting their skull or occiput off their C1 or that first bone of their neck. And here's what I mean by that. What we want them to be able to do is bring their head and neck into a chin tuck position, a gentle chin tuck position, with no activity of their superficial neck muscles. So we'll have them place their hands upon their neck muscles, and then they should be able to lift their head or nod their chin as if they're nodding yes, to lift that occiput up off C1, or the skull up off the first bone of their neck. They should be able to get that chin down, gently bring it back up, down, gently bring it back up, as if they're being pulled up from the back side of their occiput or skull, and their chin comes down without any superficial muscle activity, because they're able to use the deep neck flexors to accomplish that. Now, if your client cannot do that, that's when you oftentimes need to have them see a massage therapist, chiropractic physician, and or physiotherapist that can help them release some of the soft tissues around their neck, because they don't have enough dissociation of their skull away from their neck. So therefore, they're just overusing and trying to flex through tightness in the backside of their neck. Their suboccipital muscles are real tight and short. So they're going to overuse those muscles because they can't dissociate or move the head independent of the neck. That's when you want to do soft tissue release prior to doing your breathing, prior to doing some of these other exercises. I mean, you should always do the breathing, but prior to doing some of these more segmental type motions of the head and neck, to teach them how to get the head and neck positioned more optimally for everyday life. So when they're working on their computers, their cell phones, they can look down without bringing their head forward to look down. They can exercise, push and pull without pulling themselves into that forward head position. So tomorrow I'll discuss how we take this alignment into our functional upright patterns. Don't forget, tomorrow also at midnight, Friday the 13th, at midnight, we're closing the early bird registration for our Integrative Corrective Exercise Instructor program, and that's where we do a 3-day intensive of working through the assessments, the corrective exercise patterns, and the functional integration patterns that we use with our older clients here in our clinic. So it's really the most comprehensive course that's out there, most specific course on training older adults and helping them accomplish their health and fitness goals, so that you're the expert they want, need, and will seek out. This is Dr. Evan Osar. Make it a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow on Facebook Live.